The film begins by showing a hitman known as Thunder Legs. For 20 years, Thunder Legs has been very consistent in training the strength of his legs, which makes him feared and often assigned missions to kill people. However, this time, his target is someone who is also skilled in Kung Fu. Even so, the target is shocked to realize that the one sent to kill him is Thunder Legs, as it is known that Thunder Legs is an undefeated fighter up until now. Next, the scene shifts to a martial arts school named Po Chi Lam, where we meet the master, Wong Qingying, and his son, Wong Fei Hung. Wong Qingying is seen training his students and instructing his assistant to take over while he steps outside to smoke. Fei Hung, knowing that his father is out, plays a prank on his father's assistant, who is not skilled in Kung Fu. After having fun pranking his father's assistant, Fei Hung and his friends go to the market to buy snacks. There, they spot a beautiful woman who makes them fantasize about kissing her. Fei Hung, being clever, shows off his skills to his friends in hopes of impressing the woman. However, it turns out that the woman is accompanied by her mother, who immediately teaches Fei Hung a lesson. Surprisingly, the mother easily defeats Fei Hung. The scene then shifts to a young man named John, who is misbehaving in the market. John is the son of a wealthy man who has been bullying the local traders. Fei Hung, who happens to pass by, teaches John a lesson and humiliates him in front of the market crowd. Afterward, Fei Hung returns home and is shocked by the arrival of a cousin and his aunt, who turn out to be the same people he just encountered in the market. Wong Qingying finds out about what happened in the market and scolds Fei Hung, intending to punish him. The situation worsens when John's father arrives with a bruised John. John's father, who is also a martial artist, demands that Wong Qingying take responsibility for his son's injuries. But when Wong Qingying attempts to punish Fei Hung, his aunt intervenes and suggests an appropriate punishment for Fei Hung. The punishment is carried out by John's father, who will attack Fei Hung with 10 moves without Fei Hung being allowed to fight back. John's father agrees to the proposal and orders his men to attack Fei Hung. However, what happens instead is that Fei Hung makes one of John's men embarrassed in front of John's father. After that, Fei Hung faces a special punishment from his father. But being Fei Hung, he comes up with an idea to make the punishment feel very light and insignificant. Unfortunately, his father finds out about this and becomes angrier, deciding to send Fei Hung to his uncle, the old beggar known as Beggar, to toughen him up and make him more mature. Long story short, night falls, and while Fei Hung is still undergoing punishment from his father, his friend tells him that Beggar is cruel and likes to torture his students. Knowing this, Fei Hung decides to run away from home to avoid his uncle. The next day, Fei Hung, very hungry, goes to a restaurant to trick a customer into giving him free food. Unfortunately, the person Fei Hung tricks turns out to be the restaurant owner, and this results in Fei Hung getting into trouble. In the midst of this trouble, an old man appears and helps Fei Hung. After leaving the restaurant, the two of them chat, and Fei Hung doesn't realize that the old man is his uncle, Beggar. When he realizes this, Fei Hung immediately tries to escape as fast as he can from his uncle. However, Fei Hung can't escape and must face the new reality. This is where Fei Hung begins his harsh training. After only 1 day of training, Fei Hung feels unable to continue, to the point where he pranks Beggar. So just to escape as far as he can from the situation. Afterward, Fei Hung stops at a place to dry his clothes, not realizing that they belong to Thunderlegs. Thunderlegs tries to kindly ask Fei Hung to leave. However, Fei Hung claims that this is a public space, and anyone is allowed to be there. This leads to a confrontation with Thunderlegs, ending in Fei Hung's defeat. After this defeat, Fei Hung decides to return to Beggar to focus more on his kung fu training. After finishing training, the two take some time to gamble in the market. When Beggar wins a lot of money, the gambler becomes upset and tries to cheat. Fortunately, Beggar's sharp eyesight allows him to quickly expose the cheating. The situation escalates into a fight that can no longer be avoided. Training continues. At this point, Beggar starts complaining about the lack of alcohol. For Beggar, stopping drinking makes his body weak and feel like that of an old man. Therefore, to get his body back to normal, Fei Hung is sent to buy alcohol at the market. However, Fei Hung uses the money to buy food instead, only giving Beggar a small amount of alcohol mixed with water. Later, Beggar, who is waiting, is confronted by Ironhead and his boss, who are there to settle the score. Beggar, in his weakened state, has no choice but to fight. Unfortunately, when Fei Hung arrives, he realizes that the alcohol he gave Beggar only tasted like water. When night comes, Fei Hung apologizes to his uncle and promises not to repeat his actions. Because of his strong desire to improve, Beggar reveals the reason why Wang Qingying sent Fei Hung to be trained. It relates to a powerful move called the Drunken God Fist, which has never been taught to anyone before. It turns out that this technique is often referred to as the Drunken God Fist. The scene then shifts to a situation at the martial arts school, where John's father is once again causing problems with Wang Qingying. This time, the issue is much bigger and related to a land dispute. John's father wants to buy land in a village on a hill to build a spiritual center, but Wang Qingying, as the village chief, refuses to allow it, knowing that John is working with a foreign company to make money. Angered by this, John's father hires Thunderlegs, hoping to receive news of Wang Qingying's death. Back to Fei Hung, who has just brought alcohol and is reunited with Ironhead. Having now learned the Drunken God Fist, Fei Hung easily defeats Ironhead. After defeating him, Fei Hung gains more benefits by taking Ironhead's alcohol stock. It turns out that Beggar left a farewell letter, asking Fei Hung to return home while continuing to practice the Drunken God Fist. Meanwhile, Wang Qingying, continuing his usual activities, is approached by a villager who informs him that John's father is forcefully digging up the land in the village. However, it turns out that John's father's actions are a trap, as Thunderlegs is waiting for Wang Qingying's arrival. As a result, a fight between Wang Qingying and Thunderlegs becomes inevitable. However, the longer the fight lasts, the weaker Wang Qingying gets due to his old age. Wang Qingying nearly dies at the hands of Thunderlegs, but fortunately, Fei Hung arrives just in time to save him. Using the drunken god fist taught by Beggar. So, Fei Hung is finally able to defeat Thunderlegs, who has been training his legs for 20 years. From that moment, Wang Fei Hung's reputation is recognized by all the villagers.